Shit. Yes? I may have misled you. He's slipping. He's a slippy boy. But, I, I have a silly, I have to put this on. Yeah. Ah! I love it. I forget that Twitch sends me notifications, so every once in a while, when I start one of these streams and Twitch on my phone is like, hey, just so you know, you're streaming. And it goes, brrr, and I'm like, oh my god, is someone paying attention to me? It's not. It's me. I did that. I am the one who knocks. I haven't seen that show. Why am I doing that? So I decided really want I really wanted to read this book specifically. I saw this in the library and I had to grab it. And then I was talking to one of my friends, and Jim. I see you. You're not here yet, but I see you. I see you all the way in Texas. And decided that I really wanted to read something using the voice that I use for my dog. So so that's what we're doing today. We're doing Urban Legends: The Exploding Toilet. This is, I don't know how old. From the hello, hello, it is here. I is you is here. Look how, is it just me or does this cover look like? First of all, this is absolutely a bathroom. Like somebody has this in their bathroom, or at least did in the 2000s and 90s before phones on the toilet was a thing. I'm just gonna double check something because it's not. Oh, it would be vintage. Oh, oh, shut up, shut up. I hate that. 2004. Yeah, 20 years ago. 20 years ago. I was right. I guessed correct to guess. I don't know what happened there with my words and my speaking and my speech and my talking. I already asked for his permission to use his likeness in this stream, so let's start with dumb luck and bad breaks. Oh hey, the exploding. We're starting with the title. Awesome. The existential crisis one another. My library marks 9/11 fiction as historical fiction. That's depressing. That is, yes, I heard you. I heard you. We're going. We're going. We're going. You want to escape? If anyone keeps score of how many times my cat leaves and then also enters the room again, start counting now. If anyone put that on your bingo card, the cat fucking leaves. No, that's right. The children have no idea. They weren't there. I think we just happened to have the day off that day. It was like student, or sorry, teacher evaluations or fucking something, because I remember being in my house when it happened. Or maybe we were having, like, the parents, all the adults were talking about it at the house after school. I don't remember the specifics, but I do remember being. Bingo card? Yeah. I'm not leaving the door open because the other one, the kitten, likes to come in here and fuck up my stays. Ugh, Jesus. Oh no, that's not safe. That's not good. Hello. Don't even think about it. God damn it. This motherfucker. Okay. Without further ado. Oh, that's good. Okay, yeah, she was safe. That's awesome. Good to know. I was sitting here like, I don't want to read that just in case it's gonna be a story that's gonna make me sad. Okay. All right. All right. Pepper is sorry. Pepper is reading The Exploding Toilet, the namesake of the book. Jasper was on his patio raking on his motorcycle. His wife, Anne, was in the kitchen preparing dinner. Jasper started racing the motorcycle's engine, and somehow the motorcycle slipped into gear. Still holding the handlebars, he was dragged headlong through the glass patio door, and the motorcycle dumped onto the floor inside of the house. Ian, hearing the crash, ran into the dining room and found Jasper lying on the floor, cut and bleeding. The motorcycle lay next to him, and the patio door was shattered. She ran through the phone and called the ambulances, because as they lived on a fairly large house. Anna went down the several flights of the long steps to the street that directed the paramedics to her husband. If I let you out, you're not coming back in. I'm not doing this the whole time. I'm not. If you go back out, you're not coming back in. Go on. I say I'm not going to let him back in, but we all know I am. We all know I'm going to succumb and feel bad if I don't. Alright. After the ambulance arrived and transported Jasper to the hospital, and operated the motorcycle, and yeah, cat 3 Nana 0. And operated the motorcycle and pushed it to the side. Seeing that gas had spilled on the floor, and got some paper towels, blotted up the gasoline and threw the paper towels in the toilet. Jasper was treated at the hospital and released with minor injuries. After he arrived home, he looked at the shattered patio door and the damage done to his motorcycle. Feeling disappointed, he went to the bathroom, sat on the toilet, and lit a cigarette. He finished the cigarette while he was still seated and flipped it between his legs into the bowl. Anne, who was back in the kitchen, heard her first loud explosion and then the screams of her husband. She ran into the bathroom and found Jasper lying on the floor. His trousers had been blown away, and he was suffering burns all over his buttocks, the backs of his thighs, and his groin area. It burned his penis. Anne ran to the phone and again called for an ambulance. The same ambulance's crew was dispatched, and again Anne met the dead. Yes, it was blown away. Anne met him at the front door. The paramedics again loaded Jasper onto a stretcher and began carrying him out to the ambulances. As they were going down the stairs to the front door, one of the paramedics asked how her husband had happened to burn himself. When she told them, the paramedics started laughing so hard that one of them took the stretcher and dumped Jasper out. He fell down the rest of the stairs and broke his ankle. There. See, I remember reading that on the internet somewhere, and I remember being like, yo, do you know how long, like when you go to the hospital, do you know how long you are at the fucking hospital, even in the emergency department? Like, this was the 2000s, so the wait time was still only like 3 to 4 hours, so not that long. Yeah, exactly. Forever. You're there for 1,000 years. I find it hard to believe that nobody used that toilet in the, let's see, if it's 3 to 4, and again, this is 2000s. Now the wait time is between 8 and 12 hours. I've been there. It sucks. It was 4 hours at the time, 5 if it was busy. So 4 hours, and then usually when you're in the bay, you are still, because triage takes a little bit, so that's maybe like 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how staffed they are. So 15 to 30 minutes for triage, so that's 4 hours and 30 minutes. We're gonna make it generous. 4 hours and 30 minutes, and then in the actual bay, the room that they put you in, they have to hook you up to They have to get your vitals. They have to get your blood work. They sometimes make you pee. They have to do a CT scan. Now, CT or an MRI, I guess. Well, I think it would be. It would possibly be CT and X-rays because MRI and CT are a little bit different. So you have to, if you're going to do a CT, you have to. I'm trying to remember because I get heartbeats fast, colors and heart beats fast, colors and promises. Yeah. Yes. If you oh God, I know because I've had both, and you usually, if you get one and the other, you have to do contrast for one and then injection contrast for the other. But one of them you have to drink. You have to drink a barium solution, and it's fucking disgusting. By the way, barium is nasty, and the only good version is the raspberry crystal light version, and even then, it fucking sucks. So 90 minutes for the results of the CT, but then you also have to wait for, I'm sorry, I'm going on a whole math tangent here. Then you have to go and you have to wait for the contrast, again, depending on which one you get, you have to wait for the contrast to settle in. And that can take between 30 minutes to an hour for it to actually become viable in your system. So that's 30 plus 90, that's 120. Yes. 120 minutes for CT. So 4 hours plus half an hour plus 120 minutes. That's 415. So that is, wait, hold on, 8. If that's 8 and then another. So it's 6.5 hours, give or take. Nobody in this goddamn house in 6.5 hours, not including the amount of time you have to wait for your doctor to come in and clear you and make sure you're completely okay and did not get a concussion. And also not including x-rays, because those take a half a second. Nobody used the toilet in 6.5 hours. Like, this is just like, do you guys remember? Yes, God forbid they want to admit you for observation. Yes, usually with, like, depending on the degree of injury, they will make you stay overnight. Depending on the amount of, like, the, how fast you were going and the impact. He went through a patio door at a certain amount of speed. We don't fucking know. It didn't fucking say. But they might, if they are concerned about a concussion I feel like they would have made him stay overnight just simply for the fact that it's a motorcycle, it's a vehicular injury. So I think a good chunk of the time they make you stay overnight. So between 6, possibly 8 hours, and overnight, nobody used this goddamn toilet. My money is some ding-dong Dorcas. My money is on some ding-dong Dorcas, and 1,000 Ways to Die used to do this. They would embellish the story and change it up, so it would be like, you wouldn't feel as bad for the person when they did something stupid, and so they made the character unsavory, or they made the circumstances hilarious. So they changed the lead up to the actual death in 1,000 Ways to Die, just so the audience would be like either entertained by the death or feel like, good, this fucker had it coming. You know what I mean? That's what they did here. This Ding Dong Dorcas, some asshole, just decided to, instead of properly disposing of fuel, probably in their garage, they decided to flush it down the toilet, and then they themselves forgot minutes later that there was gasoline in that fucking toilet, and then they exploded they ass. That is what happened. You can't convince me otherwise. Thank you and good night. Moving on. Thankfully, these are really short, so the rants will probably be minimal. That's a lie. I rant about everything. Don't even get me started. All right. When nature calls, answer. He always answers the call of nature. Let's be fucking. Bill had been hard at work for 2 weeks selling encyclopedias in Nashville neighborhoods. He worked each neighborhood on foot, carrying his wares from door to door. He had not made a single sale. Late Friday morning, Bill felt a call from nature. Since he had been instructed never to use the prospect's facilities, he began to look for a restaurant or business that would have a public restroom. At the far end of the block, Bill spotted a sign for the Morris Funeral Home. Hastily, he made his way through the front door and into the men's rooms. As he was leaving, one of the funeral home attendants asked Bill if he needed help finding the deceased. Not wanting to appear to be a freeloader, he asked yes, where is the casket? He was led into a large ornated room. Against the one wall was a very expensive gold, silver, and walnut coffin. The deceased was a distinguished gentleman in a hand-tailored piece suit. Even though there were no other visitors, Bill pretended to pay his respects. As he was leaving, Bill glanced at the open guest book and saw there were no other signatures. What a shame, he thought. He filled in his name and address and left. 3 months later, Bill received a letter from a lawyer explaining that, according to the dictates of the deceased's will, all those people who attended to his funeral came to pay his respects would inherit his entire fortune. Bill was the only visitor. Enclosed was a check for $10 million. You know, I would have visitors at my funeral. I'd have at least like 4. I'd have at least 4 or 5. So I wouldn't do that if I were. The number would be small enough that if I had $10 million, I would have pre-written in the will for those individual members. What did this guy do to make it so that nobody showed up to his fucking funeral? What did he do? What the fuck kind of person was this that not a single goddamn person? He was an arse, yes. Like on my deathbed, I will expose to the world that I gave my kids daddy issues. Basically. Such a fucking asshole. Such a ding-dong ass piece of shit dick fucker. That was a big swear. I'm proud of it. Like, yeah, clearly not enough that people would show up to hate on him. Oh, ooh. Or, just as in the case of my, I almost said wife, because there's more context to that. I almost said wife because I almost said stepwife, because the whole thing over here, there's a whole thing, there's backstory, there's deep lore. I'm not going to get into it right now because it's going to make me mad. My grandmother's husband, not my grandpa, fuck that guy, my grandmother's husband, when he dies, we're not going to show up to the funeral to hate on him because we will already be having a celebratory family dinner. I'm not kidding. That is what's going to happen. We have discussed it at length. And, like, I'm wondering if that's the situation where they're like, we despise this man so much that not only are we not going to show up to his funeral, we're going to go somewhere else and celebrate his death. I'm thinking and I'm looking and I'm seeing and I'm thinking and I'm thinking and I'm seeing and I'm looking. I see you. Or he was like 107 and everybody he knows is dead because he's 107. I don't know. I don't know. Oh God. Sorry. I'm right-handed, so trying to use my left hand, I need to do like exercises to strengthen. Yeah, he didn't make any friends either. Like, oh, you know what? One of those people, one of those like you've read this book, you've seen this character. Having friends is a vulnerability and a weakness, and you only make friends to further your own agenda. So you don't actually have friends. You have alliances. And because none of them were actually your true friends, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit about you because they knew your game. You're like, well, this is why you don't making an alliance. They will only be so loyal to you. They will push you aside specifically because they know you are not a friend. You are using them to further your own agenda. So you will get more, like, deeper loyalty from a very good friend that you trust implicitly, that you are vulnerable with, that you have a connection with. Hi! Hi, Tetris! Hi! Hello! I wasn't expecting to see you today. Yay! You here too! Yay! We're all here together! It's a fun time! It's a good time! It's a good time! Hey. I'm sorry about your interview, and I'm gonna come down there. Over there. Which way is east? I'm gonna come over there and have a discussion with the person that interviewed you. We're gonna have a little chat after my wrist is done healing, because I gesture with my hands a lot. I gesture with my hands. We're gonna have a discussion. Me and your interviewer. Anyway, we're talking about an old asshole that died with no friends. And yeah. Okay, it's interesting to me. Wait, hold on. Oh, it's dumb luck and bad breaks. I thought it was like I thought it was a bad luck chapter, so I was like, why the fuck is that in the bad luck chapter? He got I gesture with my hands a lot, and it's not on me if they happen to catch these hands. like, like, like Friends with that episode where Monica, they're saying they don't play a Pictionary with Monica, and she was like, I didn't throw the plate, I was gesturing. Me, same squad. All right, okay. Anyway, it pays to be nice. Herbert was driving along a deserted road at dusk. As he rounded the curve, he saw a man looking under the hood of his car. Herbert stopped his car and offered to help. Fortunately, the trouble was just a loose wire. When the wire was reconnected and the car started it again, the grateful man asked Herbert for his address to send him a reward for helping him. Herbert declined and said he wanted nothing, but the other man kept insisting, so he finally gave in. Then both men got in their cars and drove off. 2 weeks later, Herbert received a letter from his bank stating that his home mortgage was paid in full. He called at the bank and then they said there must be a mistake. No, said the loan manager. Bill Gates was quite insistent that you own your house free and clear. Is it just me, or did that read like a Tumblr post? Do you know what I mean? I think that read like a Tumblr post. It reads like, and then years and years later, that man that was my waiter became Barack Obama, president of the United States. Do you know it reads like a Tumblr post, like reblog for good luck, reblog to pay off your mortgage. You know? You know? Alright. Just a green snake. Green garden grass snakes can be dangerous. Yes, grass snakes, not regular snakes. A couple in Rockwall, Texas had a lot of potted plants. During the recent cold spell, the wife brought a number of them indoors to protect them from possible freezes. It turned out that the little green garden grass snake had hidden in one of the plants. When the snake had warmed up, it slithered it out and the wife saw it go under the sofa. When she let out a scream, her husband, who was taking a shower, ran out naked into the living room to see what the problem was. He was naked, that's what the problem was. He was naked. Put on the towel, you heathen. The wife told him there was a snake under the sofa. Right after he got down on his hands and his knees to look for it with his penis out, the family dog came into the room and cold-nosed him in the behind. Oh, that's nasty. Positive that the snake... He's done that. He has done that. You bend over to get a pair of underwear, because I have my underwear in like a bin under my bed, so the cat and the dog doesn't get in it, because they will. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know why they like tossing around underwear. It's weird. Pick socks. I don't know. But I will be going to grab underpants after a shower, and he'll just be like, "Oh, are we doing the butt sniff thing?" "No, we are not. No, we are not." Which is why now when I get out of the shower, before I go in the shower, I always put my underwear on the bed so I can come grab it without bending over, because this dork thinks we are identifying and greeting each other, and it's very uncomfortable and cold. I just got out of the shower. It's cold. All right. Anyway, moving on. Positive that the snake... Jesus Christ. Positive that the snake had bitten him, the husband fainted. His wife, however, thought he had had a heart attack, so she called the emergency squad. Emergency squad? Paramedics. You mean the paramedics? Emergency squad? Emergency squad is what you call your brunch buddies when you've just broken up with your boyfriend. Emergency squad! Brunch time. The attendants rushed in and loaded him on the stretcher and started carrying him out. About that time, the snake came out from under the sofa, and the emergency medical technician saw it and dropped his end of the stretcher. The fall broke the husband's leg, and he wound up in the emergency room. The wife still had the problem of the snake in the house, so she called her next door neighbor to come over and help. The neighbor, armed with a rolled-up newspaper, what the fuck is that gonna do? What the fuck is that gonna do? Began poking under the table. That's a good fucking idea. He soon decided that the snake was gone until the wife who sank down on the sofa in relief. As she relaxed, her hand dangled in between the sofa cushions. How much space do you have between the sofa cushions? Do you mean the back of cushions? Like these? Do you mean the back of cushions like this? Ding-a-danger? Oh. Where she felt the snake wriggling around this. As she screamed and fainted, the snake rushed back under the sofa, and the neighbor, seeing her lying there unconscious, tried to bring her to by using mathematics resuscitation. The neighbor's wife, just returning from the grocery shopping, saw her husband's notes that he was next door. As she walked through the open door, she was shocked to see her husband's mouth on the neighbor woman's mouth. She slammed her husband in the back of the head with a bag of canned goods, knocking him out and cutting his scalp to a point where it needed stitches. The noise woke the woman from her dead fainted, and she saw her neighbor lying on the floor with his wife bending over him. So she assumed that he'd also been bitten by the snake. She went to the kitchen, brought back a small bottle of whiskey, and began pouring it down the man's throats. By now the police had arrived. Why the police? Who called it the police, it says. The paramedics already came, did and went. What? When they examined the unconscious man and smelled the whiskey, they assumed a drunken fight had taken place. The police were about to arrest them all when the two women tried to explain that it all happened because of a little green snake. The police summoned the ambulance, which took away the neighbor and his sorrowing wife. Just then the little snake cried out from under the couch. One of the policemen drew his gun and fired at it. That happened. I was there. I was the snake. I was very scared. Ah, bingo card. Bingo card. Who's got it? Ha ha. What did I say? Keeping score? Are you keeping score? 4. It's cat 4, me 0. Yes. Yes. He is my son. He is my baby. I gave birth to him myself, and I find it very hard to say no to him. Also, I kind of forgot. I forgot that I wasn't going to let him back in again. Because now he's just going to go out. And then he's going to come back in. He's going to go out. And he's going to come back in. And that's why my mom calls him a penis. Yes, keeping score. Thank you. Thank you, Edgem. Oh, Jesus. He missed the snake, but hit the leg at the end table on one end of the sofa. The table fell over, the lamp on it shattered, the bulb broke, starting a fire in the drapes. Okay. The other policeman tried to beat out the flames and fell through the window into the yard on top of the family dog, who, startled, jumped up and raced it into the street, where an oncoming car swerved to avoid it and smashed into the parked police car. Meanwhile, the burning drapes had spread to the walls, and soon the entire house was blazing. Vigilant neighbors had called the fire department, and the arriving fire truck started raising its ladder when it was still half a block away. That did not happen. They don't do that. The rising ladder tore out the overhead wires. That's what I don't do, that you're lying. Disconnecting the electricity and telephones in a 10-square city block area. Time passed and both men were discharged from the hospital. The house was rebuilt. The police acquired a new car. And that all was right with the world, did it? About a year later, however, the husband and the wife were watching TV. When the weatherman announced an approaching cold snap, the husband asked his wife if she thought she should bring the plants in for the night. And that's when she shot him. She shot him. Of course she did. That happened. I was the gun. Oh man. This shit was before you could actually look it up on the internet and be like, that didn't fucking happen. That didn't happen. You can't prove it. And you're lying. And also you're stupid. Like, some of these are definitely like a, what's it? They're like a creative writing project on contemporary Americana or something like that, you know? It's like, write me a story about how a green snake causes a wife to shoot her husband. And then, yeah. Yeah, it definitely, why not after all that? Yeah, I would not shoot my husband because I'm assuming I like my husband. But I might hit him with like a newspaper or something and be like, don't be stupid. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's lagging. I don't know what that is. Yeah. Oh, data. Okay. All right. Yeah. I thought it was me just because last night I tried to record a video and the camera after because I don't have dual screens here. I can't watch my camera and adjust anything about it while there's something on the screen. And it was, I watched it back and it's so, the camera itself is so laggy and choppy. And I don't know why. I think it's probably because of my setup. My setup is not ideal, but I'm poor, so I can't fix it. it's like, if I do a screen capture of like the whole screen for a video game, and this is what happened with there are actually two videos. One that I cannot make work because it's so, there are whole chunks that just, there's audio but there's no movement, like not even the game capture is working. So like, okay, awesome, thank you, appreciate. But I it's literally just because the House of Rules playthrough was fine. The camera was okay for like the whole time, and I think it's, I don't know why, but it's because it was just a screen capture, not a video game capture, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Not sure what that's about. I will have to look into the settings later, I guess, because it might be like, I have window capture and I have game capture, and I think I need to delete one of. Wait for it. Just fucking wait for it. Just wait for this. Wait for this. For this guy. All right. Okay. All right. Maybe I should do a stream where I'm trying to figure out how fucking OBS works. Just all right. It would be really nice to get like I wish I could. It would be nice to have some kind of scenario where I make plushies of him and he's wearing like a little tally mark card, and it says outside question mark and just tally. That'd be really cute. All right. Okay. God helps those who help themselves. Oh, also, here's the other thing. There is a chapter. All these chapters are really fucking short. There is a chapter called Scary Stories. Haha. So this is also technically going to be a spooky story stream. Haha. Ta-da. Woo! Yay! Yes! Yes! Washable marker, like those bears you could draw on the way on. Yes, my sister had one of those, and she would draw on it, and like, I think it got to a point where she didn't want to wash it because she didn't want to have to redraw the stuff that she liked on it, so it stayed that way. It stayed that way for a very long time. A small congregation just inside the city limits of Wheeling, West Virginia, built a new church on the parcel of land willed to them by a deceased church member. The congregation had very little money and built the church themselves, much in the fashion of all the bar and the raisins. Since they did the work of the sales, they did not have time to take the turn in the end to learn the ins and outs of the local building codes. That's a bad idea. You want to look into that. 10 days before the new church was to open, the local building inspector arrived and informed them that the parking lot was not large enough for the size of the building. The members of the congregation pleaded with him to be lenient, but the inspector would not budge from his position. Because of your own mistakes, you won't be able to use it as built. Until you double the size of your parking lot, you can't use the sanctuary. The congregation was distraught. They had used every inch of their land except for the steep hill against which it had been built. To achieve more parking spaces, they would have to literally move the hill behind the dam. The next Sunday morning, when all the worshippers gathered for the services, the pastor surprised them by saying, "I want all of you who believe that faith can move mountains to stay. The rest of you can go home. I want no scoffers or non-believers here." Of course, no one left. This morning, instead of the regular service, we're going to hold a prayer meeting and ask God to help us remove this hill from our backyard and somehow furnish us with enough money to have it paved over before our opening and dedication in a week from today.
I'm not going to respond with the thought that I was responding with, but I have a response. All 80 members of the congregation fell to their knees and began to pray in earnest. The children of the church prayed for as long as they could. So, there's a bit in church that is like, if all of God's creatures stopped worshiping, then the rocks and like inanimate objects would start singing God's praises. Right? Right? So like I'm just sitting here like, them rocks don't believe in God. They ain't gonna fucking move. First of all. Second of all, this church gonna be one of those churches that don't believe in evolution. Okay? I'm gonna just say that right there. Because like even the church that I grew up in, like even they were like, we can pray for like blessings and stuff, but we still have to do things. We still have to do things. We still have to do fundraisers and raise money to get the parking lot paved. We still have to raise money to pay somebody to get rid of this fucking hill. Like, they would like pray to be blessed and shit, but they also knew logic. So I don't want to go to this church. Personally, I don't really want to go to any church ever again, but just say it. Say it. Yeah, logic is selective. Yes, Anjum. Yes. Logic is selective. All right. And of course, because it's an urban legend, something's going to happen. It's going to make it work. And again, Tumblr post. It's going to be a Tumblr post where somebody made up a slightly exaggerated lie for the clout. Except it's a book. The children of the church prayed for as long as they could, but the adults stayed on their knees for nearly 3 hours. And then they went to the doctors later and they're like, I don't understand why my knees is hurt so bad. I only kneeled for 3 hours, but I was kneeling for the Lord. So my knees shouldn't hurt because the Lord would have recognized that I was kneeling for him. Go on. Okay. All right. Well, immediate regret. Was it the consequences of your own actions? Huh? Could it possibly be the consequences of your own actions? Fuck's sake. I don't know how to do it yet. I will figure it out. The freaking, come on. Now he want him mommy attention. Now he want him mommy attention. Now he want him mommy attention. I don't know how to do the commands yet. There was a whole tutorial, but it was like a big page, and it was very overwhelming because I have autism. I need do A, do B, do C, do D, and then you don't show me anything else until I've done A, B, C, D. And they're like, okay, now that you've finished A, B, C, D, you can move on to E, F, G, H. That's what I need. Anyway, once I figure out how commands work and how to do that, I'm gonna make a command where it's cat, and it'll be a random. If I can make it like spit out a random number, it'll be like cat. The cat has entered the room this many times, or the cat has exited the room this many times. We'll see. I'll have to look into it and try not to cry when it gets too overwhelming. I will cry. There's like a 78% chance that I will cry about this at some point. Yes. Yes. He's my boy. Oh, he doesn't get nearly enough attention. He doesn't get nearly enough attention. Oh, what a sorrowful existence has the boy. What a sorrowful existence. What a sorrowful existence. How terrible it is to be a kitty cat. Oh, it's terrible to be a kitty cat. Is it terrible to be a kitty cat? It's terrible to be a kitty cat. You're terrible. I love you. Don't even think about it. You stay right there. Don't even think about it. All right. Okay. Oh, also, secondary thought. I did get I did get a video capture card. So, would anybody let me know? Hold on. I'll just do it because I know there's lag and there's lurking. So I'll type it in. I'll type it in chat. So. I forgot that does that. I forgot that does that. I need to configure my hotkeys because I completely. Yes, yeah. I just wanted to make sure that if there was lag, that the question would be in the chat, so y'all could actually know that it's there and answer. I have to configure my hotkeys again because I figured that there are two enter buttons. There's the number key button and then there's this enter button. I, for some stupid fucking reason, thought that they would differentiate between the two keys, but they both have the enter command. So it does not differentiate. And I didn't think about that, and I don't know why. I'm 120% brain, really. I'm 120% brain. But yes, let me know, because I have a couple new things. I got Palia, Palia, because I wanted to try it out. I have Animal Crossing, and I could do like a hello there, it's me, the Pepper. I could do a I really like doing decor style games, so I could go do the I don't remember what it's called, but that where you go to the other island and you design vacation homes or whatever. I could do that. I also have an Amnesia collection, so we might be able to do that too. I'd have to figure out how to do it because the instructions were not clear, and I have to actually go into the internet and get formal instructions instead of just step 1, plug in. These are the ports. Ta-da. No. No, you can stay. You can stay trapped this time. You can stay trapped this time. All right. Okay. So, let me know if y'all want to see, because I also have... I have Minecraft. I have not played Minecraft in years. So I've not played it in years. I like to build. I do creative mode almost exclusively. So that might be interesting. That might be interesting. I don't know. Let me know. Let me do a we'll do a poll. We'll do a poll. I don't know. No, we won't. There's 2 of you. It would make no sense to do a poll. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Finally, the pastor said, "Amen." Then, as everyone rose stiffly to their feet, he added, "We're going to open our doors next Sunday just as we planned. God has never let us down before, and He won't let us down this time." Although they had spent 3 hours at prayer, not all the congregation was as certain as the pastor of God's intentions. You can never know. You can never know. Dog works in mysterious ways. Dog works in mysterious ways. Okay. Although, in fact, some of them thought their preacher might have tempted Providence by making such a bold prediction. The next morning, just as the pastor was finishing breakfast, he heard a loud knock at the front door of the manse. Opening the door, he saw a beefy construction worker wearing a hard hat standing on his front stoop. "Pardon me for not calling first, pastor, but I wanted to catch you as soon as I could," said the man. "I'm the foreman for Tellinger Construction Company here in Wayland. We're building that big shopping centre on the other side of town. You probably read about it in the papers. And we need a humongous amount of field dirt for the parking lot. I was wondering if you folks would be willing to sell us some of that hill right behind the church you're building." The pastor was so surprised he could not speak. The construction foreman took his silence as a reluctance and went on, "Now, I know we're asking for a lot, but we could pay you nicely for the dirt we take away." The pastor still had not found the words to express his gratitude, so the foreman continued, "You see, pastor, we're kind of between the rock and the hard place. We can't do any more construction on the shopping centre until we get that dirt in there and let it settle. We need to move it right away. We thought we had enough land to fill, but our engineers has misjudged it pretty badly, which is why I'm out scouting around for some dirt. What do you say?" The pastor's eyes teared up, but still his words would not come. "Tell you what, pastor, that exposed area where we take away the dirt, we won't leave it looking ugly. Why, as soon as we get it out, I'll have some men come over and pave it for you, and we'll landscape it around the edges. No, you won't. This is a shit post. This is a tumbler shit post. Thank you. I know this is an unusual crisis, but we need to find some land filling right away." The little church held its dedication the very next Sunday, just as planned. Not only were all the members of the church there, but so was the new city building inspector, as well as the construction foreman and all his crew. And the title of the sermon was "Faith Can Move Mountains." And then we have one last teeny tiny one before I have to break, because I drank so much coffee this morning and now I have to pee. So we'll read this one last one, take a pause, come back. The average cost of rehabilitating a seal after the Exxon Valdez oil spill in Alaska, oh, that's a long time ago now, was $80,000. At the special ceremony, 2 of the most expensively saved animals was released back into the wild amid cheers and applause from onlookers. A minute later, in full view, they were both eaten by a killer whale. That one I believe. That one I believe quite possibly happened. Okay, I'm going to go. I still haven't configured things, so I I was supposed to add background music and I completely forgot. So terribly sorry. I will be back as soon as I can because it's going to be quiet. Okay. I do have a command for. Hold on. That's weird. I have a command for muting the microphone, but it didn't work. So, not sure what that's about. Not sure what that's about. But I'm back. And I don't know. I I think that in the Twitch studio, there's like background music that you can pick. So I'm gonna do that at some point because I do want to do longer streams in the future for things like gaming and stuff. But yeah, I will have to actually figure things out. There's probably a tutorial somewhere that I can actually follow. Yeah, because I need like a instructional tutorial that has images. I don't follow videos very well. Like I don't do video recipes very well. I have to like watch the video, write down the recipe, and then read what I wrote down, and then use the video itself for like a secondary reference. I can't like, and Tetris, when we were making your birthday cake, you saw how many times I had to go back to that fucking. I do the same thing with regular recipes, but it's easier for me to be like, okay, I did A, B, C, D. This is how much. It's a whole goddamn. It is a whole thing. All right. Now we're gonna do some scary stories, and then I have another video that I want to record for YouTube. So we'll do that, and then I'll go do that, and then it'll all be hunky dunky. Hide and seek. This is a scary one. Scary. Becky was a wild child who did anything she wanted. She lived with her parents in a beautiful mansion in Palm Beach. My dad used to live there. They gave her everything she wanted, except their attention, I have said. In trying to get her parents to show some concern, Becky pulled every prank she could think of to get herself noticed. Whenever the principal sent her home from school, she would disappear for days just to rile her parents. She once brought a bottle of gin to high school and showed it to everybody, which guaranteed her expulsion. When she reached 18, Becky told her parents that she was getting married. She had only known her fiancé 3 months and was something of a wild hare himself. Becky told her mother she was tired of going to school and didn't want to go to college. She didn't really love the boy since his family had owed money. She joked that this was a marriage to be of conveniences. Her parents were shocked but relieved. They saw no better opportunities for Becky, so they agreed to pay for the wedding. As her father escorted her down the aisle, Becky looked stunning in the beautiful handmade wedding dress covered with white sequins. The wedding was followed by a fancy reception for 400 guests at the country club. Yes? What's up? That's my voice. Why are you talking for me? It's weird. Boo boo. Boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. Yes. Yes, boo boo. Boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. And the baba? Is this the baba? Is this the baba? Yes, this is the baba. Why are you using my voice if you do not want my attention? Why are you using the voice that you uses for me when you don't want my attention? I do not understand. Yeah? We go? Well, right here. Where you going? Change of scenery, I guess. I don't know. Alright. Change of scenery, I guess. Oop. Okay. Alright. As her father escorted her down the aisle. Afterwards, the young people moved to the party to the far room estate belonging to the groom's deceased grandparents. The unoccupied house, full of antiques and overstuffed furniture, yes, was a perfect place for a late night party. Now the celebration would begin in earnest. About 3 in the morning, Becky demanded that the guests play hide and seek. After the young husband was declared it, all the party guests scattered in search of places to hide. That was easy. The old mansion had hundreds of great hiding places. It wasn't until the sun came up that the groom found all the hidden and the guests. All that is, except Becky. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Good? Got one more in there? There it is. Bless you. Bless you. Goodness. Did you get some up your nose? Bless you, bless you. Bless you. Did you get some stuck up your nose? Are you allergic to the cat? Goodness gracious. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on, buddy. Whoa. Hold on. Oh, all right. Jesus. Are you okay? Hey, you okay? Let me see. Okay. Your eyes aren't super goopy. Your nose isn't dry. Yeah? You good? Okay. Oh. Okay. You got a hair up your noses. Good, you got a hair up your noses. Oh, it's get the hair up your nose. Oh. Oh. Wee. Frip, frip. Frip, frip. Just a man of the hour. Is this the man of the hour? Justice. Oh, yes. Yes, I love you too. Yes, you can't lick up my nose. Thank you. No. No. Thank you. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. I love you too. I love you too. Who's the best boy in the whole world? Who's the best boy in the whole world? You the best boy in the whole world? Are you the best boy in the whole world? Oh, he's the best boy in the whole world. It's the best boy in the whole world. Look at that. Look at that. It's the best boy in the whole world. It's the best boy in the whole world. Look at that. Look at that. All right. There he goes. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Boop, boop. Boop. He wants to go to his room. He likes to go back and forth between his room and my room. Okay. All right. By now, everyone was sober. They spread throughout the huge house looking for her. Come on, they called out. The game's over. By noon, their worry gave way to exasperation. They were beginning to suspect that this had just been another one of Becky's pranks. Maybe the whole wedding had been a prank. When Becky's husband told her parents she was missing, they immediately called the police to investigate. The police officers conducted a thorough search of the house and the grounds, but found no trace of her. Once they learned about Becky's rambunctious past, coupled with her parents' admission that she didn't love her new husband, the police surmised that Becky had run away to get out of the marriage before it could started. The police helped the parents file a missing person report, but nothing new turned it up. After 3 years, the case was declared inactive. The rejected young husband found a new love, remarried, and started a family. Becky's parents hired a private detective to track down their daughter, but he was never able to find her. 10 years later, the old estate where the party had been held was put up for sale. A young couple bought it, antiques and all. One day, as they were exploring some of the back bedroom closets, they discovered a large, dusty trunk hidden behind a rack of clothing. The trunk was locked, and when they pried the latch open, there in the bottom lay the curled-up skeleton of a young woman wearing a beautiful wedding dress covered in white sequins. See, I feel like if they're gonna if they're doing a thorough search, they would see they would see a massive trunk. You see a massive trunk, you know someone is possibly hiding in it, but you also I don't know about y'all, but I hear something like she didn't really love her husband. My first is, okay, she may have run away, but her husband may have found out that she was using him for the money, so he took advantage of the hide and seek game, killed her, and hid her body somewhere. So, like, thorough? I don't know. I don't know how thorough that sweep was if you didn't find her. You're not going outside. You can leave the room, but you're not going outside. Yes? Come on. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, God. All right. Yeah, because they wouldn't, also, right. The trunk was locked. How she was inside and nobody knew where this trunk was and nobody saw this trunk, why would it be locked? And if it was locked, how would she have gotten in there in the first place? Was she keeping a crowbar under her dress just in such an event where she needed to pry the latch off of a fucking dusty ass antique trunk that's full of holes? It is full of holes, and I'm not popped to it. I don't know what that word was. I don't know what that word was. Okay. I think I'll do one more. All right. Henry Meeker owned the cattle ranch outside the small Texas town along the Lee on the river. He was a shy, quirky little fellow who kept mostly to himself, but every Saturday night he would show up with the Mustang Saloon and quietly drink himself into oblivion. Henry had never married and knew virtually nothing about the women, but that didn't stop him from falling in love with a dancing girl at the Mustang. Oh, she don't love you. She's a dancing girl. They're just nice. What Henry liked most about Miss Francie Parker was tall and curvy with a long mane of red hair. Everyone called her Fancy because of the pretty dresses she wore trimmed with colorful ribbons and bows. What Henry liked most about Fancy was her devilish little smile, which seemed to imply that the cute trick was soon to be played on somebody. All the men liked her for the way she teased and joked with them, but Henry adored her. He thought Fancy was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. He couldn't take his eyes off her. When she was serving in the saloon, he would order drink after drink just so he could talk with her. His extravagant tips always got her attention, at least while he was in the saloon. One day, Henry worked up the courage to ask Fancy to marry him. She laughed and said, "Henry Meeker, I don't need a husband, I need a wife. Someone to do for me." "Oh, Fancy," said Henry, "come live with me and I'll do everything for you. I'll be your husband, your wife, your servant. I'll cook, clean, and make the money. Marry me and you won't have to do anything but sit around all day and wear pretty dresses. I'll do anything for you, Fancy. If you're this obsessed with a person that you're willing to give up everything and basically be their slave, you need to reevaluate this. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it this time. I'm not. I'm not letting him back. I'm not letting him back in. I'm not doing it. There's only one more story to go. There is one story. 3. Oh, but that one sounded so sad. Oh, man. Ah. Oh, that one sounded so sad. Fine. Okay, fine. Fine. Cat. He's making me get my steps in is what he's doing. Steps. Make your steps. I make you get your steppies. I do many steppies. I do many steppies. I got 4 leggies. Come on. There he is. There's my boy. The cat tally is now 6, 7. I think it's 7. It's 7. But did you see the chat? Because I have not gotten any response to my question. Since there's only 2 of you here right now, would either of you be interested in a gaming stream? Because I don't know why specifically, but my brain was like, it's something to do with English, where like you put the title in quotations or you italicize it. So like my brain was like, because you're referring to something specific, you need to put it in quotations. I don't know why. You're not going outdoors. Why? Because you fight the other cats. And then you murder things. Because you're a naughty creature, that's why. No. You know, you're going to come sit with me. You're going to come sit with me. Or you're going to hide under the bed. That's fine, too. But yeah, would either of you be interested in watching? Yeah. Because I got a video capture card thing. I need to figure out how to set it up with my Switch. Because I don't have dual monitors, so I can't make that work specifically, but I can hook it up, I believe, and do a handheld version. And on top of that, if I decide to play, there are some games, especially with this setup, it's technically a gaming monitor, so when you play a game, this whole taskbar down here disappears. And it's like, and you can't minimize the screen, so I can't make it small and just capture the screen. It's too immersive. So when I get frustrated and upset, it's harder for me to just turn away from it and be like, you know what? I'm refusing to get overwhelmed by this right now. I'm not doing it. So it's probably better for me to use a handheld anyway, instead of attempting to do a screen capture type situation. So we'll I'll finish reading this story and then we can talk about which games. Okay. Oh, fancy, said Henry. Come live with me and I'll do everything for you. I'll be your husband, your wife, your servant. I'll cook, clean, make the money. Marry me and you won't have to do anything but sit around all day and wear pretty dresses. I'll do anything for you, Fancy. Fancy knew he had money because of the large tits he left her, Maybe marrying Henry wouldn't be so bad, she thought. He'd be easy to control. He'd do anything for me. Give me a house and money. I'd never have to work. In fact, I wouldn't have to do anything if I didn't want to. Do not get into a marriage like this. It's bad and dangerous. Nope. No, you're not going. And also, what do you think I'm going to do about the window? You think I'm just going to bust the window out so you can run out that way? No, not going to happen. One day, on a lark, after he had again asked her to marry him, she joked, "Get me that new green taffeta dress with the lace collar in the window of the dress shop and I'll marry you." She knew she was safe since the dress cost as much as most ranchers made in a year. The next morning, the dress was waiting for her at the saloon, still on the mannequin. The note pinned to it read, "The wedding will be this Saturday." Fancy quit the saloon and married Henry. At first, things went well, even though Henry wanted Fancy all to himself and wouldn't let her leave the house. That's not good. That's bad. Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad and it's icky, and we don't like it. He placated her with gifts, new dresses, new furniture, chinas, silverwares. It was only a short time, however, before Fancy, who had spent her young life joking and frolicking with men, became restless. One night she got fed up. "Henry, I'm going into town," she said. "Don't try and stop me or I'll never come back." She saddled the horse and ran away. It drove Henry crazy that she could be seeing other men. From that day on they argued constantly, but nothing he had said ever stopped her from going into town alone. He finally realized no matter what he said or did, he couldn't hold her back. "If I can't have her," he thought, "then nobody can." I saw this coming from a mile away. The saying. It starts with the placating. And I'd do anything for you. Pretty please marry me, strange woman. And then it ends up with, "I'm gonna murder the strange woman." It's Dateline. It's 48 hours. It's Forensic Files. It's a cat screaming to get outside even though he's not allowed to go fight the other cats. No fighting, Shakira. No fighting. No fighting, Shakira. Henry wasn't the kind of man who picked up a gun and shot somebody. He certainly didn't relish the idea of dangling from the end of the rope or spending the rest of his life in jail. So he began to think of ways to kill Fancy that would seem like a natural death. Or you could just leave. And yeah, he wants to be the very best like no one ever was. He wants to be the very best like no one ever was. He has to grind. He has to grind so that he can find a big boss and to fight a lion. Right? Why is it always murder? Why is it always, "I'm unhappy in this situation, so I'm going to kill them"? Why? Just leave. Literally, just leave. Leave the house, leave town, leave the country even. You are rich enough in this. If you are rich enough that you can buy this girl whatever the fuck she wants, you can leave. You can go to Canada. You can go to Europe. You could go be anywhere else and be all by yourself and figure your own shit out and like become secure. Yeah. POV murder is easier than simple communication. Yeah. Why talk it out? Why talk it out when you can commit murder and then go to jail and then never experience freedom again in your life? Why do the sensible, logical thing when you could like just not? Why Right? There's so much baggage from a typical breakup. Like, why carry the baggage? Why carry the baggage when you can bury the body? Okay. 8. 8. I would leave it open. I would leave it open to let him come in and out as he pleases, but the yeah, why carry the baggage when you can bury the baggage instead? Yeah. I would leave the door open for him, but the kitten is an agent of chaos. So it would be so much worse. I would be following her around the room, taking stuff out of her mouth, and like trying to get stuff back from her because she steals things and she likes to tear things up. She likes to tear things apart. So, like, one of the other reasons this underwear bin is under my bed and closed is because she will shove her little paw into that crevice and yank out every single piece of underwear. I don't know why. She just loves, she's an agent of chaos. So that's why we have to do it this way. The slightly less annoying way. We're hoping she calms down, but she's only 10 months old right now. So, we'll see. We will see. All right. One day she was getting ready to go into town. Henry said meekly, "I'll saddle up your horse for you." She does. She has a quota. She has to commit at least 3 felonies by lunchtime. "I'll saddle up your horse for you." She was surprised to hear this, but figured she had finally broken him from trying to stop her. Out in the stable, she had cut the saddle's girth strap almost all the way through, so that any sudden movement would cause the saddle and rider to fly off. Fancy always rolled hell for leather. Henry felt certain this would get her. Dressed in her green taffeta dress, Fancy mounted the horse side saddle. As she rode off toward town, she flashed him a devilish smile. "Yes, I've finally beaten you," it seemed to say. "This is an unhealthy relationship. Y'all now need Jesus." Henry fretted all day, wondering if his plan had worked. At dusk she arrived home, bedded down in the back of a buckboard driven by Spreader Bass, a tall, handsome, silver-haired man. Henry ran to the wagon. "Fancy, what happened to you?" "Your beautiful wife has had a bad accident," said Spreader Bass. He wants to fuck Henry's wife, I think. Probably. The cinch broke just as she was fording the river. Looked to me like it had been cut. She fell and hit her head on a rock. Luckily I came along and pulled out. Took her to Doc Lower and he fixed her up. She'll be all right in a few days, but she needs a bed rest. You need to take better care of her, Henry Meeker, else I will. Every day after that, Spreader Bass looked in on Fancy. The way she smiled at him in her impish way, Henry knew something was beginning to happen to them. As she got better, Spreader took her out for afternoon rides in his buckboard, each ride getting longer and longer. Whenever they left, Henry tried to stop her from going, and each time she laughed at him. Henry began to devise a way to kill Fancy. No mistake about it. One night, Henry cooked her favorite meal, tomatoes and okra smothered in onions. Tetris, if you're still watching, tell me this is a hell meal for the both of us. They took both of us and our least favorite things, and they took our least favorite things, and they said, "Now perish," is exactly what happened. Ah, yes. Oh, dear. This one's the dog this time. You bored all by yourself? I'm bored all by yourself. I'm bored all by myself. Come on. Uppies. Uppies? Uppies. Uppies. Oh. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Uppies. He has received uppies. Okay. All right. He laced the tomatoes on okra with nightshade, a digitally plant that grows everywhere in Texas. Hey, Texas! And Jim. It's Texas. Haha. After a while, Fancy began to feel dizzy. Texas, y'all! Texas! My mom had a boyfriend from Texas for a little while, and he kept making fun of our accents. So, you're in Washington now. You're the one with the accent. She became nauseous and clammy. Her hands started to tremble, and she broke that out in a cold sweat. When her arms began to go numb, she realized what was happening to her. She tried to get up, but she couldn't move her legs. Fancy looked into Henry's eyes and said, "You're doing this to me, aren't you? You're trying to kill me. First you cut the saddle cinch. Now you're trying to poison me. I warn you." It is bigger than the others. This story be bigger than all the others. Yep, it's true. And also, again, this is not an urban legend. This is now a story. This is now a short story assignment. It's a short story assignment, and you can't tell me otherwise. All right. This isn't fun. Everything's bigger in Texas. I warn you, I'll come back. I swear I will. And I'll get you, you little weasel. I'll get you good. By the end of the day, Fancy was dead. Henry told the doctor that his wife hadn't been the same ever since her fall from the horses. The doctor ruled that she had died of natural causes. At the funeral, folks said she looked so pretty in her green taffeta dreaded dress. Even had that devilish little smile on her lips. She was buried in the graveyard on the bluff by the river. Soon after the funeral, Henry started going back to the Mustang Saloon every Saturday to drink away his guilt, 'cause that'll solve your problems. He sat in the same seat at the corner of the bar. Felt good to be back. He hadn't been there since he married Fancy. One stormy spring day, Henry arrived early at the Mustang. It had rained for 2 days. The river was rising, but Henry didn't seem to be worried about making it home. He still had a lot of liquor to get past his lips. Through his drunken haze, he heard the ranchers talking about moving their herds to high ground and families getting trapped by the flood waters. The rain kept falling and the water kept rising, and Henry kept drinking. The river soon flooded its banks and began to force its way into town. When Henry stumbled to the window to take a look, Main Street looked more like a river than a road. Deciding he'd better start for home, Henry lurched out of the saloon, off the steps, and into water up to his knees. Yes, you should always get into the water when you've been drinking. That's a very, very good idea. Get in the water. Like that TikTok song. Get in the water. Don't mistake my threat for bluff. You've lived more than enough. Boiling. It shouldn't be boiling. It's... Yeah. Get in the water. Get in the water. Get in the water. Also, why does... It says boiling? Swirling dangerous. It wouldn't be boiling if it's a flood. It would be boiling if there was a volcano in like Dante's Peak. It would be boiling in the, like, it's a flood. It's not a volcano. Don't quit fucking up your natural disasters. All kinds of things were floating in the flood. Trees, crates, furniture, things that could kill a man. Telling himself he had to get home, Henry picked up a stick to help brace himself against the flood tide. Some of the people in the saloon yelled for him to come back, but on he went. He was halfway across the street when he looked up and saw a strange sight. Coffins floating down the main street. Boiling's gotta be right. Yeah. Yes, exactly. They call it a rolling boil, so obviously boil is right because it's a rolling boil. I've never boiled water in my life. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've never boiled water in my life. I know what I'm talking about. It bubbles because it's moving really fast. It's bubbling because it's moving really fast. Okay? Okay. Tumbling flood waters had torn the coffins out of the graveyard and sent them career... Focus. Focus. You see that though, right? I mean, it's fucking blurry. Damn it. It says careering. They're careering toward town. It says fucking careering. These coffins are careering. These coffins have a job to do. They're in us. I don't know. It doesn't have authors. It just has the people that compiled the stories together. So this is also the only one that we've read so far that has these kinds of typos in it. Although boiling wasn't a typo, it was just an incorrect word choice. But you know what I mean. This is the only story that we've read so far that reads like this. These coffins were in a Zoom meeting, careering into town. Jesus Christ. He hurried to get across the street, but the coffins were bearing down on him. One of them turned broadside and headed straight for him. He struggled to get out of the way, but could barely move in the raging water. The people trapped in the buildings watched in horror as the coffin hit Henry, the pine boards splitting, the lid flipping open. They couldn't believe their eyes as they saw Fancy's stiffened body burst from the coffin. Her green taffeta dress enveloping Henry as he fell into the raging flood. Serves you right, you murderer! It seemed to those who watched that Fancy had thrown her arms around Henry. Desperately, he thrashed it about, struggling, trying to keep his head above the water. Fancy seemed to hold him tightly as they were swept downstream. The water didn't recede for 3 days. When it finally did, debris was everywhere. Pieces of furniture, logs, even bodies were lodged 30 feet up in the trees. A week later, 5 miles downstream, Henry and Fancy were found caught in the branches of an old pecan tree, their arms wrapped around each other. It's said that when they were taken down, even after all of that, Fancy still wore her devilish little smile. The wrong words are a secret message. Well, it's boiling and careering, so... Boiling and careering. I don't know. We might... Lame as fuck message, yes. Yeah. The boiling career, I'm trying to think of something. Soap making? I don't think you boil. I think you just simmer that, though. A chef wrote this story, yes. Chef wrote this. We will come. We will come back to those another time because my throat is still. I'm still recovering from that stupid fucking cold. Because as I said, in a different thing entirely that I just realized was not a stream, it's a recording. My body takes 1,000 years to recover from a simple cold. So I gotta go drink some immunity tea again, some green tea, some immunity tea, some what the fuck ever. But really quick before I go, I have that, I don't know if you've seen it, like the ads for it on, I don't think there were actually ads for it. I have Palia, which is like, from what I've read, it's like a combination almost of like Animal Crossing style and Minecraft style gameplay. So I could do that. I could do actual Minecraft, which I haven't played in a very long time. Like I said before, I only do creative mode. I haven't played Minecraft in years. Like there's a version on an old laptop that I have from like, oh god, that version is from like 2013 and I haven't updated it because I don't know what it's going to do to that computer because that computer is from 2007 or 2008. So I'm not going to, anyway, tangent. Palia, Minecraft, the Happy Homes portion of Animal Crossing, I could do like a decor situation. I also have an Amnesia collection, so we could do a scary. Let's see what else. I think I could make it work. I could possibly make it work where I do a game on my phone, I guess. I'm not sure. We'll see, but out of those options, we have those options. Scary? You want to do Amnesia? I can't remember what the it's like a pack of 3 games. Okay, yeah, we can do Amnesia. And you get to see how terrible I am at. I'm intellectual, so I can do like escape room style games pretty well. I'm not good at video games. I am not good. So that, yes, okay, yeah, that should be interesting. Cause woo, I run on 2 modes. When I get scared, I either don't respond and I'm like, oh dear, or I respond sarcastically, but there might be like a third, like surprise spook. We'll see what happens. Yeah, okay. Scary game stream next time when I figure out how the fuck to set this shit up. Okay, all right. I'm glad you guys joined me. I'm glad I got to see you guys today. And Friday, I'll be attempting to do the thing on Friday, cause I like Fridays. I like Fridays because usually when I get done with stream, there's somebody that I like to watch on stream. I'm not gonna tell you who it is because I'm kind of a simp. It's not Ish, by the way, and Jim. In case you were about to accuse me. Well, not accuse me. It's fairly obvious. We all simp for that particular. But no, it's a different person that I simp for. And not that they're ever gonna notice or ever see me in real life, but I do not want that. Yeah. No. No. I can't raid. I would need an amount of people to raid. And also they haven't started streaming yet. I would have gotten a notification. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I will see you next Friday. And I am pre-scared. Okay. All right. Okay. Bye. Oop. I hit the wrong button. There we go. Love you.